Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my August TBR. At the beginning of the year, I created a TBR jar and I put certain prompts into the jar to help me better choose what I want to read each month. I didn't put specific book titles in there because I'm a mood reader, and if I picked something I definitely didn't want to read, it was going to put me in a slump, so didn't do that. This kind of gives me more flexibility with what I choose. And I did have this really nice Star Wars Rogue One tin that I had all my prompts in, but my husband wanted to put it in his themed bedroom upstairs, so that's where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the prompts and we'll see what I'm going to read in August. Normally I pick 5 prompts, but I'm only going to be picking 4 because I'm going to be participating in Stormalong 2020, which is hosted by Christy Lewis and Michael Nip. I'll go ahead and link both of their channels down below, as well as the announcement video to this read-along. But this readathon is focused on reading the Stormlight Archives books 1 through 3 to prepare for the release of book 4, Rhythm of War, in November. So I ended up reading Way of Kings, I think in April, and absolutely fell in love with it. So I couldn't join Stormalong 2020 to read Way of Kings because they read it in June/July. But I am ready to read the second book, Words of Radiance. So the first book on my TBR, of course, is going to be Words of Radiance. And just a note, y'all, I found this at Second and Charles for $10. These books are usually like 40 bucks. Steal. So when I saw this, I totally picked it up. But I'm very excited to be part of this read-along. And like I said, if you're interested in joining us, I will link all of the information down below. Now let's go ahead and pick the 4 other prompts that'll guide my TBR. Okay. You choose. So this is an example where I get to choose the book that I want to read, so I can basically choose any book off of my TBR. For this, I'm going to choose Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. This is book 3 in the final book of the Themis Files trilogy. I read book 1 in June and book 2 in July and absolutely fell in love with this series. I find it to be very accessible as an adult science fiction series. It is written in interview format. It's a very quick read. It's a very interesting read. The first book gripped me as soon as I read it, and I knew that it was a series that I wanted to finish very quickly. So I'm extremely excited to see how Sylvain Neuvel decides to end this trilogy. Okay, third prompt. Read a book you meant to read last year. I'm going to choose Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is a book that I picked up because I had recently read Vicious and I just came across it at the used bookstore and I grabbed it. I enjoyed Vicious. I thought it was a really unique take on superhero powers and how people came to acquire superhero powers, and then there was just the relationship aspects between our 2 main characters, which was like love to hate, and it just explored all of that dynamic. So I don't know much about Vengeful. I know that we're introduced to some new characters, so I'm excited to see where V. Schwab decides to take this story. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it. Some people say that this book didn't need to be written. Some people absolutely love it. And I think that there is a 3rd book in the works. So I want to go ahead and get this knocked out and off my TBR before the 3rd book comes out. Okay, time for prompt 4. Read a classic. For my classic, I'm going to continue my read-through of Sherlock Holmes by Author Conan Doyle. I got this book several years ago for Christmas. It is one of the Barnes & Noble leather-bound classics, and it's absolutely beautiful. It has all of the Sherlock Holmes books in it, and I've only read the first 2, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I love Sherlock. I love Watson. So I definitely want to get to book 3, which is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and also those books aren't terribly long, but they're very interesting, so it's definitely a classic that I know I will be eager to get to. Okay, and prompt 5. Start a new series. Oh goodness. So I've started a couple new series this year, and I don't want to start too many because then I find that it takes me too long to get to the sequel, and then I forget what happened, and it lowers my enjoyment. So I think I'm going to go with something really easy, probably a duology, a YA duology of some sort that I can just get through really quickly. I think I'm going to choose Starflight by Melissa Landers. This is a YA sci-fi duology, and they're fairly short. I think this is only about 300 and something pages, and I'm pretty sure that the audiobook is available at my library. So I have wanted to read this duology for the longest time, and it's just a perfect time to knock it off my TBR. In this book, we follow a girl named Solara, and Solara is a felon, and she just wants to get off-world to go to the outer rim of the universe, and in order to do that, she enters into indentured servitude to this really rich boy that she knew from school. But then it turns out that this boy from school, whose name is Doran, is accused of this crime, and both Solara, Doran, and the crew of his spaceship have to flee as they figure things out. So it just sounds like a ragtag kind of crew and a space opera and a little bit of romance mixed in, and I think it'll be a very fun YA sci-fi ride. Alright guys, so that is it for my August TBR. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so by hitting that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new content. I post new videos every Sunday, and sometimes I post bonus videos in the middle of the week, and I will see you soon with another one. Goodbye!